Welcome back, everyone. As the first golden rays of sunlight filter through the dense canopy, the forest awakens with a gentle chorus of birds and the rustle of leaves. The air is cool and fresh, carrying the earthy scent of dew-soaked foliage. Shafts of light pierce the mist, painting the undergrowth in a soft, golden glow. It's a brand new day in the heart of the wild, and every creature is stirring to life. The morning sun is rising over our troop of monkeys, and the forest is alive with activity. Youngsters chase each other through the branches, their nimble bodies leaping from limb to limb with effortless grace. Mothers perch on sturdy boughs, grooming their babies with gentle, practiced hands, picking through fur for hidden insects. The air is filled with the sounds of playful chatter, high-pitched squeaks, soft grunts, and the rhythmic thumping of feet on bark. It's a scene of energy and connection, a daily ritual that binds the troop together in a tapestry of movement and sound. But today our focus is on little Mr. Gabe, who's been struggling lately. While the rest of the troop enjoys the morning bustle, Gabe sits quietly apart, his small frame almost hidden among the roots and fallen leaves. He watches the others with wide, searching eyes, his tiny hands absently picking at the mossy ground. The sunlight barely touches him here, and the shadows seem to gather around his slender form. Since his mother had a new baby, all her attention has shifted, leaving Gabe to fend for himself. The arrival of a sibling has changed everything for him, and he now watches from below as his mother cradles the newborn high in the trees. The mother's arms are wrapped protectively around the tiny infant, her gaze never straying from the fragile bundle. Gabe's eyes follow every movement, longing for the warmth and comfort he once knew. He's become noticeably skinny, wandering alone and often looking lost. Without his mother's constant care, Gabe must now search for food and comfort on his own, a daunting task for such a young monkey. He moves hesitantly through the undergrowth, pausing to sniff at leaves or dig for insects beneath the bark. Each step is cautious, as if the world has suddenly grown much larger and more uncertain. His attempts to get close to his mother are met with indifference. She's busy with the newborn high in the trees. Gabe reaches out hoping for a moment of affection, but his mother's focus never wavers from her tiny infant. He stretches his arms upward, a silent plea for attention, but receives only a fleeting glance before she turns away, her tail curling protectively around the baby. The weaning process is tough, both physically and emotionally, forcing Gabe to grow up fast. He sits alone, his small body hunched and still, watching the other juveniles play. Their laughter echoes through the trees, but Gabe's face is marked by a quiet sadness. He's learning, perhaps too soon, that independence in the wild comes with loneliness and uncertainty. He's no longer comforted by his mother's milk or presence, and the sadness in his eyes is hard to miss. Each day, he faces the world a little more on his own, his gaze searching for reassurance that rarely comes. The forest around him is vast and full of hidden dangers, but Gabe's spirit, though shaken, is not yet broken. Once playful and energetic, he now moves with a quiet melancholy. His steps are slower, his posture more withdrawn, as if the weight of change is pressing down on his tiny shoulders. He pauses often, sitting in the dappled light, lost in thought as the world moves on around him. This is the harsh reality of the wild. Survival means constant change, even for the youngest. Every day brings new challenges, and only the most adaptable will thrive. Gabe's small hands dig through the leaf litter, searching for edible shoots or insects, his nose twitching as he sniffs out the faintest scent of food. For Gabe, this is a test of resilience and spirit. We'll be watching closely, hoping Gabe finds the strength to adapt. Perhaps with time he'll discover new friendships or learn to rely on his own resourcefulness. The troop is a living, breathing community, and sometimes even the loneliest find their place within it. Let's see how the day unfolds for him. In the wild, every sunrise brings a new chance, and for Gabe, hope may be just around the corner. The forest is full of possibilities, and as the morning deepens, the story of the skinny boy continues, one cautious step at a time. Deep in the emerald heart of the forest, where sunlight filters through tangled branches and the air hums with the calls of distant birds, Gabe finds solace in the presence of his father, affectionately known as Papa. Though the ache of his mother's absence lingers, Papa's steady companionship is a beacon of hope in a world where every day is a test of survival. Papa is more than just a guardian. He is Gabe's anchor. With every gentle touch and reassuring glance, he offers a sense of security that is rare in the wild. The two are often seen side by side, Papa's broad frame a shield against the unknown, his presence a silent promise that Gabe is never truly alone. As the morning mist clings to the undergrowth, Gabe nestles close to Papa while they forage among the fallen leaves. Papa's watchful eyes scan the shadows, always alert for danger, yet his movements are gentle, inviting Gabe to mimic, to learn, to trust. The rustle of leaves, the distant chatter of other monkeys, and the soft crunch of twigs underfoot create a symphony of daily life, with Papa and Gabe moving in perfect harmony. Papa's patience is boundless. He allows Gabe to clamber onto his back, gripping his fur with tiny hands, feeling the steady rise and fall of Papa's breath. Each step Papa takes is measured, never too fast, always mindful of his son's smaller stride. Gabe's world is full of curiosity, and Papa is his guide, showing him the safest paths, the tastiest leaves, and the subtle signs of the forest's moods. These quiet lessons are the foundation of Gabe's future. He watches as Papa selects the ripest fruits, cracks open tough seeds, and listens for the warning calls that ripple through the trees. Every gesture, every pause, is a lesson in survival, passed down not with words, but with the language of shared experience and trust. In the soft light of dawn, Papa pauses to groom Gabe, his fingers moving with gentle precision through his son's fur. This act is more than simple hygiene. It is a ritual of love, a silent reassurance that Gabe is cherished and protected. Gabe closes his eyes, soothed by the rhythmic touch, the warmth of Papa's presence melting away the worries of the night. Though Papa cannot provide the nourishment of milk, he offers something just as vital, a sense of belonging. When the wind stirs the canopy or a sudden noise startles the troop, Papa draws Gabe close, his arms forming a living barrier against the world. In these moments, the bond between father and son is unbreakable, a testament to the quiet strength of family. As they journey through the dense undergrowth, Papa leads the way, glancing back to ensure Gabe is never far behind. The forest is alive with hidden dangers and fleeting opportunities, but with Papa's guidance, every step becomes a lesson in resilience. The path they walk is not just a trail through the trees, it is a journey of growth, trust, and discovery. Gabe's apprenticeship is woven into every moment. He studies Papa's every move, from the way he cracks a nut to the subtle signals he uses to communicate with the troop. Through imitation, Gabe gains not only the skills he needs to survive, but also the confidence to one day forge his own path. Though Gabe's frame is still thin, and his eyes sometimes clouded with sadness, the bond he shares with Papa is a source of hope. Each day, their connection deepens, and with every shared meal, every gentle touch, Gabe grows a little stronger, his spirit buoyed by the unwavering love of his father. In the world of monkeys, the father's role is often overlooked, but here it is impossible to ignore. Papa's care shapes Gabe's future, his gentle guidance, a lifeline in the unpredictable wild. Every nuzzle, every protective gesture is a building block in the foundation of Gabe's life. With Papa by his side, Gabe faces the world with newfound courage. Their journey is just beginning, but already they remind us of the quiet, enduring power of family, the comfort found in a father's embrace, and the hope that grows in the shelter of love. The forest morning is usually filled with the gentle rustle of leaves and the soft chatter of the troop as they greet the day. But today, A sharp, unfamiliar sound slices through the calm. A stray dog, barking and sniffing, wanders boldly into their territory. Instantly, the atmosphere shifts. The monkeys freeze, their bodies tense, eyes wide and alert. The dog's noisy presence sends a ripple of alarm through the troop. Mothers clutch their babies tightly. Young ones like Gabe press themselves against their parents, tiny hands gripping fur with trembling urgency. The dominant males, Banjo and Baloo, move to the front, their bodies rigid, fur bristling as they position themselves between the dog and the rest of the troop. Their faces are set in fierce concentration, every muscle ready to spring into action if needed. The dog, oblivious to the panic it causes, sniffs around the base of the trees, tail wagging, barking up at the monkeys who have scrambled high into the branches. The troop erupts in a chorus of screeches and warning calls, the sound echoing through the forest canopy. High above, the monkeys cluster together, peering down with anxious eyes. Some sway on thin branches, their bodies pressed close, while others keep a constant watch on the intruder below. The tension is thick, every movement sharp and wary. The dog, undeterred by the noise, circles the trees, occasionally sitting and gazing up, as if puzzled by the commotion. The monkeys remain on edge, their natural morning routine shattered, every sense focused on the threat below. Minutes drag by in a standoff. The troop's energy is drained by constant vigilance, their nerves stretched thin. The forest, once peaceful, now feels charged with unease. Finally, the dog loses interest, its curiosity satisfied. It wanders off, disappearing into the undergrowth, leaving the monkeys clinging to the branches, hearts still pounding, the echoes of their alarm calls fading into the morning air. In the dappled light of the forest floor, Gabe sits quietly, his gaze locked on a single golden banana resting on a mossy stone. The air is thick with anticipation. Every monkey nearby senses the rare treat, but none dare approach. The jungle hums with the low chatter of distant calls, but here, time seems to slow. Gabe hesitates, his small hands trembling, as he edges forward. He glances at the older monkeys, searching their faces for permission or warning. None move. The banana is his if only he dares to claim it. With a deep breath, Gabe reaches out, his fingers brushing the smooth peel. For a heartbeat, he simply holds it, savoring the scent and the promise of sweetness. Hunger and hope war in his eyes. At last he peels the fruit with trembling care, taking a cautious bite. The taste floods his senses, and for a moment the world narrows to just him and the banana. The other monkeys watch, silent and still, as Gabe devours the treat with growing urgency. Each mouthful is a small victory, his sadness momentarily replaced by pure focus. The banana disappears quickly, hunger overwhelming any lingering caution. When the last bite is gone, Gabe sits back, belly full but heart still aching. He gazes upward, searching the canopy for his mother, who is now absorbed with her newborn, her attention far from him. He climbs a nearby branch and calls out, his voice hopeful, yet tinged with longing. But his mother, preoccupied with her new baby, does not answer. Gabe lingers at the edge of the group, a solitary figure in the shifting light, before quietly returning to his father's side. The cycle of hope and disappointment is now woven into his days. The banana gives him a burst of energy, but what he truly craves is comfort, a sense of belonging. Still, Gabe presses on, learning to survive and adapt even as the struggle continues. A sudden commotion ripples through the undergrowth, drawing every eye in the troop. In the center, a tiny baby monkey clings desperately to its mother, Mary. The infant's face is marked by a swollen, blue-purple eye, the bruise stark against its delicate fur. Its small hands grip Mary's chest tightly, trembling with each uncertain breath. The cause of the injury is unclear, perhaps a misstep from a high branch, or the aftermath of a sudden, violent scuffle among the troop. The baby's other eye darts around, wide with confusion and pain, as if searching for comfort in a world that suddenly feels dangerous. Mary's distress is palpable. She cradles her infant, her fingers moving with frantic tenderness as she grooms the wounded area, trying to soothe the pain. Her eyes flicker with worry, and she emits soft, reassuring grunts. The rest of the troop lingers at a distance, their bodies tense, eyes fixed on the pair but unwilling to approach. The injury is raw and angry, a vivid reminder of how quickly life can change in the wild. Infection is a constant threat here. One small wound can become a battle for survival. The troop's reaction is a mix of tension and wary respect. Some monkeys glance nervously at Mary, while others keep their distance, uncertain whether to offer comfort or stay away from the drama unfolding before them. The forest is hushed, as if the trees themselves are holding their breath. The troop gathers in small clusters, watching the mother and her injured baby, their usual chatter replaced by a heavy silence. Despite the pain, the baby monkey clings on, its tiny body pressed close to Mary's warmth. The mother's gentle care and the infant's will to survive are on full display, a quiet testament to the strength of their bond. Around them, the forest looms, beautiful yet filled with hidden dangers. Every day is a test of resilience, and every member of the troop knows how quickly fortune can turn. The jungle is both sanctuary and battleground, as unforgiving as it is breathtaking. For the blue-eyed baby, survival will depend on the care of its mother and the fragile peace within the troop. High in the emerald canopy, the troop's social life bursts into action with the first golden rays of sunlight. The forest stirs as monkeys leap from branch to branch, their calls echoing through the leaves like laughter on the wind. Here, every branch is a stage, every leaf a secret, and every morning a new chapter in the ongoing drama of monkey business. Adolescent and adult monkeys dart and weave through the treetops, their playful chases a blur of fur and energy. Jinger, a clever young female, teases a new male with a flick of her tail, darting just out of reach. These flirtatious games are more than simple fun. They are tests of wit and agility, a way to measure strength and charm, and a chance to challenge the ever-shifting social order of the troop. In quiet moments, clusters of monkeys gather close, their bodies pressed together in a tapestry of trust. Every gentle touch, every sidelong glance, and every soft call weaves a thread in the intricate web of relationships that binds the troop. These bonds are the glue of their society, ensuring that each member has a place and a purpose. Grooming is a ritual of both necessity and affection. Atom and Kawaki, perched high above the forest floor, take turns picking through each other's fur with delicate fingers. Each stroke is a silent conversation, a way to soothe tensions, heal old wounds, and forge alliances that may one day tip the balance of power within the troop. For the youngest monkeys, the treetops are a boundless playground. They swing, tumble, and leap with reckless abandon, their shrieks of delight mingling with the rustle of leaves. Every daring jump is a lesson in courage, every playful scuffle a rehearsal for the challenges of adulthood. Here they learn the art of balance, the rules of friendship, and the thrill of discovery. The upper canopy is a world apart, a vibrant, ever-changing city in the sky. Monkeys race along twisting vines, leap across dizzying gaps, and pause to pluck ripe fruit from sun-dappled branches. This bustling realm offers safety from prowling predators below, a banquet of food, and endless opportunities to learn from one another's triumphs and mistakes. Not every monkey joins the fray. Gabe, lost in thought, sits quietly on a sturdy limb, watching the whirlwind of activity around him. Even in solitude, he is part of the troop's living tapestry, his presence a silent thread in the fabric of their shared story. High above the forest floor, alliances are forged and rivalries are born. Monkeys huddle in secretive groups, exchanging glances and quiet gestures that speak volumes. Each day brings shifting loyalties, new friendships, and subtle power plays that ripple through the troop like a breeze through the leaves. The young ones chase and leap, their games a training ground for the future. Every tumble, every triumphant landing is a lesson in strength and strategy. Through play, they discover their place in the troop and the skills they'll need to survive in this complex world. From dawn's first light to the hush of dusk, the canopy pulses with life. Stories of rivalry, friendship, and survival unfold in the branches above, each day adding new threads to the rich tapestry of monkey society. Here, in the endless green, the business of being a monkey never truly ends. As dawn breaks over the tangled canopy, a hush settles over the troop. Banjo, the dominant male, emerges from the shadows, his movements unusually stiff and deliberate. A patch of dried blood stains his side, the fur matted and dark. The wound is raw, a silent testament to a recent struggle. Whispers ripple through the troop. Was it a brutal clash with a rival? A desperate fight for dominance as the hierarchy shifts? Or perhaps a sudden ambush in the night when shadows conceal both friend and foe? Some believe Banjo faced down a predator, maybe a silent leopard stalking the troop or a snake slithering through the undergrowth. The troop's alarm calls still echo in the morning air, a memory of chaos and fear. Now Banjo rests beneath a broad-leafed tree, his breath shallow. Younger monkeys approach, their faces etched with concern, sniffing the air around him, uncertain and wary. Despite the pain, Banjo forces himself to forage, picking through leaves and fruit with trembling hands. Every step is a struggle, his vulnerability exposed to all. The troop gathers around him, their usual chatter subdued. They sense the shift. An injured leader means uncertainty, and the air is thick with tension. Already younger males eye Banjo with a new boldness, their postures stiffening, ready to test the boundaries of power. The troop's gaze never leaves him. Every movement, every wince is noted. In the wild, weakness is a signal, and the balance of power can shift in a heartbeat. Some offer comfort, grooming Banjo's fur with gentle hands, while others keep their distance, uncertain of what comes next. As the day wears on, Banjo's strength will be tested. The forest holds its breath, waiting to see if he will heal, or if a new leader will rise. For now, Banjo sits alone, his fate uncertain, as the jungle watches and waits. Sometimes, the jungle itself seems to conspire against our efforts to share these moments. The signal flickers, the screen blurs, and for a heartbeat, we are left with only the sounds of the forest, rustling leaves, distant calls, and the soft chatter of monkeys hidden in the canopy. Out here, technology is as fragile as a spider's web, easily swept away by a gust of wind or a curious monkey's paw. As the connection stutters, the monkeys pause in their foraging, heads tilting, ears flicking at the sudden silence from our equipment. A young monkey, emboldened by curiosity, scampers closer to the strange, blinking device, sniffing the air and then darting back to the safety of its troop. The elders, wise and unhurried, continue grooming each other, unfazed by the brief interruption. For them, the only drama is the shifting light as the sun dips lower, painting the forest in gold and shadow. The younger monkeys, meanwhile, leap and tumble, their play undisturbed by our invisible troubles. In these moments, we are reminded that our presence here is fleeting and delicate. The monkeys live by the rhythm of the forest, their world shaped by sun, rain, and the ever-present need to find food and safety. Our technical difficulties are nothing to them, just another ripple in the endless stream of jungle life. As the signal steadies, a hush falls over the clearing. The monkeys, sensing calm, resume their gentle chatter. The forest breathes with them, alive with possibility as the day edges toward dusk. So, a quick hello from the heart of the wild, where every technical glitch is just another story, and every moment with the monkeys is a gift. Thank you for joining us in this fragile, beautiful connection. Let's return to the troop and watch as the day's last light dances through the trees and the monkeys settle in for the night. There's still so much to witness before the forest falls silent. As the golden light of evening filters through the canopy, a gentle hush settles over the forest. The troop, once lively and bustling, now moves with a slower, more deliberate rhythm. Leaves rustle softly as monkeys forage for the last morsels of the day, their movements unhurried, savoring the final tastes before nightfall. Youngsters, their energy finally spent, nestle close to their mothers, tiny hands clutching fur as eyelids grow heavy. Adults gather in small clusters, grooming one another with slow, soothing strokes, reinforcing bonds that have carried them through the day's challenges. Gabe, still learning the ways of the troop, sits quietly beside his father, mimicking every movement, each gesture a lesson, each pause a moment of connection. High above, Mary cradles her newborn and the injured infant, her arms a safe haven as she gently rocks them to sleep. Banjo, weary from the day's trials, finds a sturdy branch and settles in, careful to protect his healing wound. Around them, the troop chooses their favorite sleeping spots, each monkey seeking comfort in the presence of family. As the last rays of sunlight fade, the troop huddles together in tight family groups. Bodies press close for warmth, soft murmurs and gentle touches passing between them. The air cools, and the sounds of the forest shift. Daytime calls give way to the quiet chorus of night insects and distant bird songs. The forest itself seems to exhale, shadows deepening as the world grows still. Monkeys become silhouettes against the darkening sky, their forms peaceful and at rest, the day's drama replaced by a sense of unity and calm. Some glance back, eyes bright in the dim light, as if bidding farewell to the day and to any silent observers hidden among the leaves. The branches sway gently, cradling the troop as they drift into sleep. Night descends fully, stars twinkling above the treetops, and the forest is wrapped in a blanket of peace. The monkeys, safe in their chosen perches, surrender to dreams beneath the watchful sky. In this quiet moment, curiosity lingers. Eyes peering through leaves, small faces turned toward the unknown. The troop rests, but their story continues, woven into the fabric of the forest night. Good night, from the heart of the wild. As the first pale light of morning slips through the tangled branches, the forest stirs to life. Dew clings to every leaf and vine, sparkling like tiny jewels in the fresh dawn. The troop awakens, stretching and yawning, eager to greet the new day. Hunger tugs at their bellies, and soon the quiet anticipation of breakfast hums through the canopy. Monkeys move with purpose, leaping deftly from branch to branch, their eyes scanning the lush green for signs of ripe fruit. The older, more experienced foragers lead the way, their knowledge of the forest an invaluable guide. They pause beside a towering fig tree, its limbs heavy with plump purple fruit. With practiced hands, they twist the figs free, sniffing each one before passing the choicest pieces to the youngest and most vulnerable members of the troop. Elsewhere, a trio of juveniles works together to pry open the tough shell of a jackfruit. Tiny fingers probe the sticky pulp, extracting golden morsels and sharing them with gleeful chirrups. The teamwork is instinctive. One holds the fruit steady while another picks, and a third keeps watch for lurking predators. Their cooperation is seamless, a silent language of glances and gestures honed by seasons spent surviving side by side. In the lower branches, mothers teach their infants the art of foraging. Patiently, they demonstrate how to peel back the outer layers of a tender shoot, revealing the sweet core within. Little ones mimic the motions, fumbling at first but gradually mastering the delicate technique. Each lesson is a thread in the tapestry of knowledge, passed down through generations. The forest itself is alive with abundance. Sunlight dapples the ground, illuminating clusters of berries and hidden caches of nuts. Monkeys spread out, some digging in the leaf litter for insects and grubs, others plucking leaves and blossoms from vines that twist around ancient trunks. Their senses are finely tuned, ears alert for the rustle of a snake, noses twitching at the scent of distant mangoes. Throughout the morning, the troop's movements are a dance of harmony and efficiency. Calls echo softly as discoveries are shared and warnings are given. No one is left behind. Even the slowest are guided gently toward the best feeding spots. The forest provides, and the troop in turn respects its rhythms, never taking more than they need, always moving on so the trees may bear fruit again. By midday, bellies are full and energy renewed. The monkeys settle in the shade, grooming one another and savoring the peace that comes from a morning well spent. The cycle of foraging, learning, and sharing has bound them closer, their survival woven into the very heart of the forest. In this ancient world, life is a balance, each monkey a vital part of the whole, each day a testament to the quiet genius of cooperation. After the feast, as sunlight filters through the emerald canopy and the heat of midday settles over the forest, the troop drifts into a tranquil lull. Here, in the shelter of broad-leafed branches and dappled shadows, a different ritual begins, one as ancient and essential as the search for food grooming. Pairs of monkeys sprawl lazily across sturdy limbs, their bodies pressed close in quiet companionship. Fingers nimble and patient part the fur with practiced ease, searching for tiny hitchhikers, ticks, burrs, or flecks of dust. Each movement is deliberate, methodical, almost meditative. A mother gently combs through her daughter's coat, lips pursed in concentration. A pair of adolescent brothers, usually rowdy, now sit shoulder to shoulder, trading careful attention and soft, contented grunts. Grooming is more than hygiene, it's a language of trust. The troop's matriarch, wise and serene, sits at the heart of a loose circle. Younger monkeys approach her with humility, bowing their heads and offering their backs. She inspects them with gentle authority, her touch a silent reassurance that all is well. In return, they groom her, easing the burden of leadership with their small, earnest hands. Around them the forest is hushed, only the occasional trill of a bird or the whisper of leaves breaks the stillness. The monkeys' eyes close, faces relaxing into bliss as tension melts away beneath the soothing rhythm of fingers. Tiny infants cling to their mothers' bellies, lulled to sleep by the soft tug and stroke of grooming. Old friends exchange slow, affectionate gestures, their bond reinforced with every careful touch. There are rules here, unspoken but understood. The closest allies groom each other most, cementing alliances and smoothing over disputes. Even rivals may pause, suspending their quarrels as they share this moment of peace. The act is both a truce and a promise. Today, we are family. Today, we care for one another. The session ebbs and flows, clusters forming and dissolving as monkeys move from one companion to the next. No one is excluded, not even the shy or the solitary. Eventually, the troop glows with renewed comfort, fur sleek and spirits lifted. As the afternoon light deepens, the monkeys stretch and yawn, the last knots of worry worked from their bodies, the day's tensions forgotten. In the gentle art of grooming, the troop finds not only cleanliness, but connection, trust, and the quiet joy of belonging. As the afternoon deepens and the air grows thick with the scent of moss and ripening fruit, the forest transforms into a playground. Young monkeys, recently groomed and brimming with energy, gather in a clearing where sunlight pools like liquid gold on the forest floor. Here, the ancient roots and tangled vines become a stage for their boundless imagination. The little ones dart between shafts of light and shadow, their movements quick and unpredictable, a blur of tawny limbs and flashing eyes. Squeals of delight echo as two siblings chase each other in dizzy circles around a mossy log, their laughter mingling with the distant call of a hornbill. Above them, a trio of older juveniles invent a daring game, leaping from one swaying liana to another, testing both their courage and their grip. Each successful jump is met with a chorus of approving chirps, while the occasional slip earns a mock gasp and a tumble into the forgiving cushion of leaf litter below. The forest itself seems to cheer them on. A fallen branch becomes a balance beam, demanding careful steps and outstretched arms. A clutch of broad leaves serves as makeshift masks, transforming the wearers into mysterious creatures for a moment's play. Even the shadows are alive with possibility, perfect for a game of hide-and-seek where the sharpest eyes and the quietest feet always win. Learning happens here, woven seamlessly into the fun. The youngest monkeys watch their elders closely, mimicking the agile climbs and graceful leaps with clumsy determination. They practice patience and persistence, learning how to navigate the unpredictable world above ground. Every misstep is met not with scolding but with encouragement, a gentle nudge, a playful tug, a reassuring touch. Occasionally, a dispute flares up, a tug-of-war over a prize stick or a scramble for the best perch. But just as quickly, the tension dissolves into giggles and gentle wrestling, the rules of friendship reaffirmed through play. These moments teach lessons that will last a lifetime. How to cooperate, how to compete, and above all, how to belong. All around, the forest hums with life. Butterflies drift lazily through the air, their wings catching the sun. A curious squirrel pauses to watch the commotion, then scampers away, tail flicking. The earth is soft and forgiving beneath tiny feet, the trees standing tall and patient, silent guardians of these precious fleeting games. As the sun slips lower and shadows stretch across the clearing, the young monkeys, slow, breathless, and content, they collapse in a tangled heap, arms and legs draped over one another, their hearts still racing with the thrill of discovery. Today, they have learned a little more about their world and about each other. In the playground among the vines, childhood is celebrated in every leap, every laugh, and every lesson learned beneath the watchful eyes of the forest. The first warning comes as a hush, a sudden stillness in the canopy, as if the forest itself is holding its breath. A cool breeze stirs, carrying with it the scent of wet earth and distant thunder. The young monkeys, sprawled in their post-play exhaustion, sit up in unison, noses twitching, ears pricked to the shifting mood of the woods. Above, the leaves begin to tremble as fat raindrops splatter against the emerald canopy. The sound is soft at first, a whisper, a promise. Then, with startling swiftness, the heavens open. Rain pours down in shimmering sheets, transforming golden sunlight into a silver curtain. The forest floor darkens, colors deepening, as every surface glistens with new life. Instinct takes over. A matriarch lets out a sharp, urgent call, a signal to the troop. In an instant, play is forgotten. The youngest cling to their mothers, wrapping tiny arms around warm fur. Older juveniles scramble up the nearest tree trunks, their hands slick but practiced, seeking the shelter of dense foliage overhead. The troop becomes a flurry of movement, each monkey weaving through the labyrinth of branches in search of the perfect refuge. Some huddle beneath the broad, waxy leaves of a strangler fig, where the rain slides away in rivulets, leaving a dry pocket beneath. Others wedge themselves into the crook of sturdy limbs, tails entwined for balance, while a few of the boldest dart into a hollowed-out log, peering out at the shimmering world beyond. The air is alive with sound, the patter of rain on leaves, the low rumble of thunder, the quiet murmurs of reassurance as mothers groom their anxious infants, smoothing wet fur with gentle fingers. Steam rises from the forest floor as the warm earth drinks in the downpour, releasing a chorus of rich, earthy scents. From their sheltered hideouts, the monkeys watch the transformation. The playground they knew just moments ago is now a world of reflections and ripples. Puddles form in the hollows of roots, tiny streams snake between stones. Butterflies vanish, replaced by the sudden flash of a frog leaping through the undergrowth. Even the ever-present insects seem to pause, waiting out the storm. For a while, the troop is still. The rain falls, steady and unyielding, wrapping the forest in a cocoon of sound. In this pause, the monkeys draw closer, sharing warmth, trading soft murmurs, their eyes wide with wonder at the spectacle around them. And then, as quickly as it began, the storm begins to fade. The rain slows, the thunder recedes, sunlight dares to return, glinting off every drop and turning the world to gold once more. The monkeys emerge, shaking off the last beads of water, stretching limbs cramped from hiding. There is relief and there is joy. With the air now cool and sweet, the troop resumes its day, older, perhaps, and closer for having weathered the storm together. The playground among the vines calls them back, but for a moment longer they linger in the afterglow, listening to the gentle drip of rain and the renewed chorus of the forest. In the heart of the wild, every storm is both a trial and a celebration, a reminder of nature's power and of the bonds that hold the troop together, come rain or shine. As dusk deepens, the emerald canopy surrenders its brilliance to the velvet blue of approaching night. Shadows stretch long across the forest floor, painting stripes of indigo and gold over the tangled roots and mossy stones. The monkeys sense the shift, their chatter quiets, replaced by the soft rustle of movement as the troop prepares for sleep. High above the ground, the matriarch chooses tonight's resting place, a sturdy, sprawling branch woven thick with leaves, safe from prowling predators below. One by one, the troop gathers, each monkey selecting a spot close to kin. Mothers cradle their infants, wrapping them in the warmth of their bodies, while juveniles curl up side by side, seeking comfort in the press of familiar fur. The air is alive with the subtle symphony of the forest at night. Cicadas begin their chorus, a rising, shimmering song that pulses through the trees. Frogs call from hidden pools, their voices echoing like distant drums. Somewhere in the darkness, a nightjar's whistle floats on the breeze, answered by the soft hoot of an owl. Nestled together, the monkeys groom one another with slow, deliberate care, fingers combing through fur, picking out the day's debris, reinforcing the quiet bonds of family. The youngest yawn, eyelids drooping, lulled by the gentle rhythm of breath and heartbeat. Overhead, the wind stirs the leaves, sending a cool hush through the branches. As true night falls, the world transforms. Moonlight filters through the canopy in silvery shafts, illuminating the troop's sleeping forms. The forest below becomes a tapestry of moving shadows and glints of dew. Fireflies flicker, tracing glowing patterns through the air, while the scent of damp earth and blooming night flowers drifts upward. Within their leafy haven, the monkeys drift into sleep, safe, for now, in the arms of the trees and each other. The pulse of the jungle continues around them, the soft pad of a civet on the forest floor, the distant splash of a fish in the stream, the endless, reassuring heartbeat of the wild. Here, beneath the ancient canopy, the troop surrenders to the night, trusting in the safety of numbers, the strength of family, and the promise of a new dawn.